Whenever a new year rolls around, we have a tendency to look back at the prior year and focus on the things that didn't go so well. Maybe you did too much of this and not enough of that. Maybe you made some mistakes along the way. I want to stop you for a second and I want you to try this instead. Look back on the prior year and praise yourself for the accomplishments, for the goals that you did meet. Think about the things that you did leading up to meeting those goals, even if it was just one major thing or even one minor thing that went right. I want you to focus on that. What went right last year and simply do more of that this next year in 2024. On that note, I want to share what you can expect from me in 2024 and my thought process behind some of the planning that I'm doing, which actually isn't a whole lot. And I hope to share some things that will help you along the way as well. But before we do that, let's quickly take a peek back at 2023. I want to share some moments that to me were monumental and that you were a part of this past year. And of course, we'll cover a few lessons learned as well. This first achievement, and I've got a few more coming up, so hang around. We're just going to have some coffee and a cool conversation here. But this first achievement, you guys played a big role in this. This YouTube channel reached over 80,000 subscribers, so I'm very happy about that. Now let's rewind a bit back to 2010. That's when I started this channel. Guys, it took 10 years from 2010 to 2020, almost exact, to reach 10,000 subscribers. I had a magical video. I guess the YouTube god said, hey, this video right here, metal guitar for beginners, 6 techniques you must learn. Well, that video kind of took off and that helped my channel grow, and actually it doubled in size the year of 2020, doubled in size the year after that. And then last year, 2023, we gained over 22,000 new subscribers. So I'm very grateful to all of you watching right now. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. That truly means a lot to me. This next achievement is a 3-for-1, and you played a major role in this just by watching me on YouTube here. Guys, I got 3 sponsorships in 2023. So the first one was with Electro Voice. And long story short, you guys know, aside from playing metal guitar and writing metal music and, you know, putting albums out there, I also play live solo acoustic gigs. And I've been sharing some content because it's a big part of my life now. It's a big part of what I do. Some updates coming on that as well when we get to the 2024 part. So yeah, hang around. I was playing at the Florida State Fair earlier last year, and I happened to play through a column system. I had been playing with the traditional PA speakers and that sort of thing, which is kind of a pain to set up and tear down, especially when you're just you. It's just a solo gig, right? But in any case, I played through my first column system at the Florida State Fair, and it was the Electro Voice Evolve. I think it was an Evolve 50, one of the older models, but I really liked it. So I shot a video. I'm like, okay, well, let's get this on YouTube. I put it out there. And I said, hey, why don't I just send this to Electro Voice? You know, so I sent it to them, of course, with the disclaimer, this is primarily a metal guitar channel, but I'm introducing the live solo gig tips as well. Well, we talked, and here we go. I've got the Evolve 50M system, which has been really a godsend for me because it has like greatly reduced the amount of setup and teardown I have to do for these live solo gigs, and it just sounds really awesome. So I'm really thankful for that. And that actually turned into me getting new microphones, the Electro Voice ND86. They also sent me the RE20 microphone, which I've been using for the Metal Mastermind podcast. Just a couple of months after that, I got a sponsorship from Blackstar Amplification. Now, this is something I'd kind of been chasing. So back up just a little bit, I did some promotional work for a company called Amplify 11. I was shooting some videos for Digitech for their promotions through this company. They had mentioned they might be working with Blackstar, so I kind of raised my hand. It's like, look, could you please let me know if you guys decide to work with them or if that whole thing comes through? Lo and behold, it did about a year later, so I reached out. They connected us together, and yeah, you guys saw the Amped 3 product that I got. Did some promotional videos for that. Then I'd say about 3 months later, I got another sponsorship from Blackstar. I got their MK3, their HD Venue MK3 amplifier. Now this is a 100-watt head, full 412 cab half stack here. You guys have seen my videos on that, and actually I've got another thing to share about this specific amp because it's gonna get played live really soon. That's coming up in the 2024 part. The third sponsorship was towards the end of the year by Zager Guitars. Now, I had never heard of Zager acoustic guitars. Their rep reached out to me like 3 different times, and I wasn't intentionally blowing off the email, but guys, I do get a lot of emails. I can only imagine what the big YouTubers get. They probably get tons of emails every day, and a lot of products I'm just not interested, and I'd never heard of Zager Guitar, so I kind of like, well, I'll get to it later. I finally decided to click the link he sent me, and I went to the website. I go straight to the story. I want to hear the story behind the company, and I read the story of Denny Zager. Well, Denny Zager, he had a duo called Zager and Evans. They wrote a hit in 1969 called In the Year of 2525. That's how this story on the website starts. And as I read more, I began to see how much Denny and I share in common. So I'm like, okay, I'm writing them back. So now I've got their Zager ZAD 900 CE 50th Anniversary Edition Acoustic. You guys probably saw the video a couple of weeks ago on that. I'll be making more content on that, by the way. And I've already played the guitar live. I think at least 3 gigs, maybe 4 gigs now. Liking it a lot so far. More to come on that. Now, speaking of acoustic guitar, I actually played about 80 to 90 live solo gigs in 2023. Now, is that an achievement? I really didn't have a number of gigs I wanted to play, but when I started kind of calculating, I'm like, man, we average like 7-8 gigs a month. So I added that up and I was like, okay, well that's a hefty amount of shows. These are all, again, solo acoustic shows. So hey, I'll mark that as an achievement. I'm actually changing that in 2024 though. A couple more major things that happened in 2023. I think you guys know what the last one is, but first I want to share this experience with you real quick. And this was a major goal of mine and my wife's. So we visited Thailand. Now, I've been to Thailand before. The last trip was in 2015. She's been several times, of course. We've been wanting to go back for quite some time. We made that happen. And this actually turned into more of a business trip than anything else, which is why I'm sharing this with you guys. You guys may have seen a couple videos while I was in Thailand in November of 2023. I got to jam with some really amazing guitarists in Thailand in the Bangkok area. And I also did a couple videos at this music store called Music Concept in the heart of Siam. This is actually in the Central World Mall, those of you who are familiar with Bangkok. And this connection was brought to you by Black Star. So it's just so funny how things work, you know. I did some work for Amplify 11. They introduced me to Black Star. Working with Black Star, now Black Star introduces me to these awesome folks, Wanarat and Yai, the owners of Music Concept in Thailand. So I get this really cool opportunity. Now, I didn't go to Thailand just for that purpose. That was just one of the really major highlights. The core highlight of the trip, and I'm kind of getting into my personal life a little bit here, the core part of the trip was to experience Thailand as if we were living in Thailand. So a few things that I did that most people probably don't do when they go overseas. Well, I drove for the first time, drove a car for the first time in Thailand. I actually fell in love with driving over there though. Just, I don't know, there's a little bit of chaos in the road. However, as my wife puts it, the traffic pattern, they kind of move like a school of fish. I'm the believer, if you go somewhere else, it's good to have some base knowledge and to assimilate to the way they do things there and not so much get upset because they don't do things like you do them back in your home country, or they don't do things the way you think they should. Once you get that out of your head and just assimilate to the way they're doing things, things tend to go a little bit smoother for you. So I quickly did that. I'm like, hey, I'm in someone else's country here. This is not my country. Let me just observe the patterns here and drive accordingly. So I drove for the first 8 days and we went all over the place throughout the Chonburi district. We rented a car at Suvarnabhumi Airport, drove down to the Pattaya area, stayed a few days, and then came back up towards the Sriracha in Sriracha, which is about an hour or so away from there. But yeah, we drove around all over the place. We also visited this really amazing dog rescue called The Man That Rescues Dogs. Some of you may know who that is. And my wife and I, we have a video of our experience and of course several other Thai experiences on our channel, the Candy and Jason channel. Thank you, by the way, for those who have gone over there and subscribed and watching our videos. We do appreciate that. A couple other things about this trip I want to mention real quick before the final achievement of 2023. We also had our medical checkup done there. Now, my doctor in the US, he retired 3 or 4 years ago, And I know it's irresponsible, guys, but I have not been to the doc since then. You guys know I live a pretty healthy life, though. I work out 5-6 days a week. I eat good for the most part. I follow the 80-20 rule. I eat really good 80% of the time, and then maybe 20, sometimes 25% of the time I might eat whatever I want. That might be pizza, ice cream, whatever. But, you know, being 48 years old, I know that I need to get those levels checked and just get things checked out, just take a peek under the hood. So I did that in Thailand. My wife, she got her full medical done, everything that a woman could possibly get done medical-wise. So we all got that done, had a great experience. Everything was handled right there within the hospital. We had to go to some different rooms, but to do what we did, especially what my wife did, well, she would have had to seen like 3 or 4 different doctors here, different visits. And of course, at the end of it all, we had one bill. And that's so unlike what you get in America, when even though you have insurance and you pay for it, you get these mystery bills like 2 to 3 weeks later. It's like, okay, what's going on here? Anyway, I won't get into all that right now. Our experience was phenomenal there. We'll have a video coming out soon on that as well on our channel. And we also got our dental work done there too. Great experience. We met a lot of other YouTubers. We got to meet Talk Thai with Patty. We got to meet Jerome of the Global Travel Mate. Got to meet Rob at Project Bangkok. So we got to connect with so many people. And again, the connections we made at the music store. Now, why am I telling you all this? Some of you might be like, okay, Jason, get back to the guitar stuff, man. Well, maybe I'm saying this a bit prematurely, but we're considering making the jump at some point in the very near future. So more to come on that, of course. All right, guys, the final achievement that I want to share with you from 2023, all of you know this, we released Overcometh, my 5th album. It got released on December 1st, 2023. So I want to thank you so much for all the support on that album and getting it out there. There's a lot that went into that. The album almost didn't happen. There were many changes. I almost trashed the whole thing at one point. I will share that experience and that whole behind the scenes story in another video. What can you expect from me in 2024? I'm gonna chalk this up into a few simple concepts. One, my goal is to simplify everything I possibly can. I'm actually getting rid of some gear in my studio here. Example, I've got the Black Star amp behind me. That's what I use now. So I'm probably going to be parting ways with my EVH amplifier. EVH is a phenomenal amplifier, but guys, I don't need 2. Why do I need 2, right? I'm going to be getting rid of some of my guitars, some other gear and that sort of thing. Just simplifying everything. I'm going to clean my studio. You guys can't see the whole thing, but there's some clutter in here. Our house, we've been getting rid of a little bit of clutter here and there each day at a time. So we're just simplifying everything that I possibly can. And that is going to help me do this. One, it's going to help me give you even more, which is a big goal of mine for 2024. Now, how will I be doing that? Well, one thing, and you may have noticed I've been doing this already, I've been putting out a lesson video with tabs on screen for the past several weeks every Saturday. So that's been coming out every Saturday morning. And if you're one of my Patreon supporters, you have been getting the tabs and backing tracks to that. So I wanted to test to see if that was feasible for me to do a video every week, because lessons are a little difficult, guys, I'll be honest with you, especially having to go in and write out the tabs and do the backing tracks. There's a lot of work in that, guys, but I want to give you that once a week. I want to give you that on a consistent basis. So that's one thing you can expect from me in 2024. Another concept revolves really around my own music. I want to do more with my own music, guys. And one of the ways I plan to achieve that is to reduce the amount of live acoustic solo gigs that I do, because those are cover song gigs, all right? That's what you get paid to do, to go in and play songs that are cover songs that people know or familiar with or whatever. But I want to focus more on my music, guys. I want to focus more on writing my own music, even playing my own stuff live, which something's brewing I'm going to tell you about in a second here, coming up in February. But I plan to reduce the amount of live solo gigs I play. I'm going to keep the ones that I like and the ones that, of course, pay a little better, or a combination of both of those. I need to like the place. I don't care what it pays. I need to like playing there and enjoy it. So I'm going to hold on to those, and I'm just not really taking any new ones. I'm saying no to a lot of things this year, not just new solo gigs, but a lot of things. One thing I've learned is that you have to say no to a lot of things so that you can focus on the really important things that you really want to do. Because to me, that was the whole point of making this leap. You know, it's been like almost 4 years since I left my corporate job, since I did a voluntary layoff to do what I'm doing now full time. And I've somehow managed to make that work. But part of that was so I could do what I really want to do. So I need to decrease some things, say no to a lot of things, so that I can focus more on what I really want to do. Speaking of, I've recruited some musicians to play songs off the Overcometh album. That's coming up February 17th at the Brass Mug in Tampa. If you're in the Tampa area, mark that on your calendar. Again, you probably already know about it, hopefully anyway, because we've been promoting it like crazy. I am opening as Jason Stallworth, again, playing my own music, songs off the Overcometh album. I'll be opening for some legendary Tampa metal bands that have been around for decades here in the area. Siren, you guys have seen Ed Aborn and Doug Lee. You've seen them on the channel here. Also the band Oblivion. I've become pretty good friends with Patrick, their lead singer, and another band called Seasons of the Wolf. So I'm going to be their opening act at the Brass Mug on February 17th. So you need to be there if you're in the area. And real quick shout out to William James, the drummer for Must Not Kill. He is going to be playing drums with me. I've also recruited Drew from the Drinking with Drew show, a great friend of mine. He's going to be playing with me as well. And I'm hoping this will lead to many more opportunities to play my own music live. There are also some new things coming out with Metal Mastermind. I'll talk more about that on the Metal Mastermind YouTube channel. Real quick, those of you who don't know what Metal Mastermind is, if you just go to the website metalmastermind.com or look up Metal Mastermind on YouTube, that is the course platform, the education platform that my friend and co-founder of Metal Mastermind, Ken Candelas, we created that a few years back. That's where my guitar courses are. You guys know my Metal Riff Master course. That was the first course we released. Metal Guitar Apprentice is out there. Oh, speaking of that, I'm also going to be releasing, I'm starting to work on it now, a guitar course for melodic soloing. The last thing I want to mention for 2024 here, and my coffee is officially cold now, we'll be going to get some more of that. The last thing I wanted to mention here, guys, is I really want to expand this channel a little further beyond just me sharing guitar stuff in the studio here. I want to get some more people in the studio here to interview and even film outside of my studio. I'll be honest with you, I get bored sometimes being confined to this 10 by 11 studio sometimes. I love filming these videos, don't get me wrong, but there are times where I'm out and about and I'm like, you know, I wonder if my viewers would like this. I mean, what if I expanded to something, I'm not saying I'll turn it into this channel, but what if I shared my workout routine with you guys? Is that something you would like to see? And it wouldn't be like, look at Jason work out, look what I can do. You guys know that's not me, but it would just be giving you some things that I've learned over the years, what I'm doing right now. What are some of the things you would like to see other than just guitar content on my channel? Again, I'm always going to make guitar content, always going to make metal guitar content on here, so don't worry, that's not going away. This will just be kind of in addition to here and there. So let me know if there's anything else you'd like for me to share on my channel here that, you know, maybe something I talked about or something that you know that I do. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see, and if you're okay with me expanding this channel a little bit, just broadening out, let's spread our wings just a little bit more. Guys, thank you so much once again for being a part of my life, being a part of this channel, supporting my music, everything, man. I cannot express the gratitude enough, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate you guys. You're the reason why I get to do this and all these amazing opportunities and things that are happening. You know, of course, I want to share even more with you as we grow together. And before you go, if you have not seen the Overcometh lyric video, check that out right now, guys. Cool video. And hey, until the next one, keep it metal and keep playing music.